This is what draining the swamp looks like, my friends. President Trump and Elon Musk have formed the most powerful alliance in modern political history, systematically dismantling decades of government waste. Just hours ago, 2,000 USAID employees were fired, with thousands more placed on leave. Musk, leading the Department of Government Efficiency, has uncovered the unthinkable. The federal government has been paying non-existent people and even dead individuals. Meanwhile, the Pentagon's in full panic mode as Trump orders a complete overhaul of the Defense Department, demanding accountability after decades of unchecked spending. And while Trump and Musk work to eliminate government corruption, I've been focused on eliminating something else: visible signs of aging. Government efficiency may be the new standard in Washington, but body efficiency has always been my personal standard. A groundbreaking 2024 study showed that collagen supplementation can dramatically reduce wrinkles and improve skin firmness. As Musk exposes wasteful spending on phantom employees, I've discovered this multi-collagen formula featuring 5 essential types sourced from 4 different places. It's the DOGE of anti-aging solutions. Visit healthwithgary.com and get 51% off during their special promotion. You'll find it linked down below. Okay, President Trump meeting with Emmanuel Macron today, and he was asked about rooting out government waste, fraud, and abuse. Here is his response.
Whoever it may be, the radical left or whoever it may be, starts screaming about the Constitution, but it has nothing to do with the Constitution. It has to do with fairness to this country. It has to do with being ripped off. And when you read the things that all of these billions, and I mean many billions, hundreds of billions of dollars have been spent on, that's all you have to do is stand up here and read them. I could stand up all day and read the kind of things where we're spending all of this money. The good news is that when you think of how rich a nation we can be when we get rid of this, you know, sometimes you'll buy a company and you'll see it was really well run. They accounted for every penny. Well, not much you can do there. You got yourself a bad deal. This one is the exact opposite. Tremendous fraud, tremendous waste. And when you think of what it is, you know, Elon uses an expression, caring. If we had people that cared, just cared a little bit when they did contracts, when they negotiated with outside vendors on behalf of the United States. That's what I'm doing now. I'm negotiating for the people of the United States. So we're doing a great job of it. I will say we found it'll be hundreds of billions of dollars of waste and fraud and abuse.
And that's why they're getting rid of the people who don't care about the United States. They just care about just phoning it in, remote work. Yeah, hardly doing any work at all. And of course, we had this from Senator Tina Smith. This was 48 hours ago. She said this is the ultimate dick boss move from Musk, except he isn't even the boss. He's just a dick. Yeah, that's a senator. That's an official post from a senator. And she was doing a screenshot of Elon Musk. Consistent with President real Donald Trump's instructions, all federal employees will shortly receive an email requesting to understand what they got done last week. Failure to respond will be taken as a resignation. Haha, goodbye. And then we have this. Did you hear about this prank at HUD? Hackers played a video of Trump kissing Elon Musk's feet on cafeteria screens. It shows how desperate some are to undermine President Trump. Look at this. Look at these shots. These were taken in the HUD cafeteria. Long live the real king. And they are mocking President Trump. This was played in the HUD cafeteria. Housing and urban development. Absolutely despicable. I mean, this is where we're at right now. The swamp is desperate, and they're doing everything that they can to mock and make fun and drive a wedge between Trump and Musk, but it's not going to work. And we're just going to expose them and stand with our president and the Doge boys to get things done. Here's President Trump 7 hours ago, says only agencies that handle very confidential matters have instructed their employees not to respond to the Doge email. And most other companies will be expected to comply. Listen to this.
With Elon.
The agency has instructed their employees not to respond. They're waiting on further guidance. But Elon Musk's tweet said a failure to respond would be taken as a resignation. So there's been a disconnect in communications.
Yeah.
Are you concerned at all about
Only, that? No. That was done in a friendly manner. Only things such as perhaps Marco at State Department, where they have very confidential things, or the FBI, where they're working on confidential things. And they don't mean that in any way combatively with Elon. They're just saying there's some people that you don't want to really have them tell you what they're working on last week. But other than that, I think everyone thought it was a pretty ingenious idea. We have to find out where these people are. Who are they? And we said, if you don't respond, we assume you're not around.
That holds, that stands.
And you're not getting paid anymore, too. So, you know, we're doing a real job. And we just had a poll come out, I guess the Harvard poll, saying that it's massively popular what we're doing.
What would you say that you do here? What did you do last week? Yeah, where are you working? What are you accomplishing? Yeah, the swamp is freaking out. President Trump talking about how people don't even show up to work in the Oval Office here with Macron.
About the last email.
Do you think that DOGE could benefit from more streamlined communications? There was that email telling employees to give 5 things that they've done last week. Agency has then told people to ignore it.
You're talking about the last email that was sent where he wanted to know what you did this week. You know why he wanted that, by the way? I thought it was great. Because we have people that don't show up to work and nobody even knows if they work for the government. So by asking the question, tell us what you did this week, what he's doing is saying, are you actually working? And then if you don't answer, like you're sort of semi-fired or you're fired, because a lot of people are not answering because they don't even exist. They're trying to find, that's how badly various parts of our government were run by, and especially by this last group. So what they're doing is they're trying to find out who's working for the government. Are we paying other people that aren't working? And, you know, where's all that? Where's the money gone? We have found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud so far, and we've just started. We're actually going to Fort Knox to see if the gold is there, because maybe somebody stole the gold. Tons of gold. So I think it was actually, there was a lot of genius in sending it. We're trying to find out if people are working. And so we're sending a letter to people. Please tell us what you did last week. If people don't respond, it's very possible that there is no such person or they're not working.
Yep, that's one way to do it. We have more here. Here's the moment. Here's the moment. All those DOGE employees. I'm sorry, not DOGE, but USAID employees were walking out, doing the perp walk because they were getting fired. And as odd as it would seem, there were people outside applauding these employees, these government employees, carrying out their stuff. They're applauding them for the work they did at USAID, even though it was discovered of ridiculous amounts of cash going overseas to support and fund some of the most ridiculous things, even propaganda campaigns against our own government. Yeah. So this is the moment that we were all waiting for, and you see it right there on your screen. Trump, USAID employees getting the boot. Here we have Representative Jerry Connolly talking about Elon Musk's wrecking ball approach. And this is on CNN, and let's listen.
Yes, but OPM came out with a different directive. And as your reporting just indicated, and at the management level, there's a third set of instructions, including ignore until we get to you. So what is a federal employee supposed to do? Yeah. And remember, what Elon Musk has threatened is termination of employment. I think Senator Curtis unwittingly put his finger on a word that's really important here: cruelty. Cruelty is, in fact, the point of Elon Musk's whole wrecking ball approach to efficiency in the federal government.
Right. I mean,
cruelty. They're calling getting rid of waste, fraud, and abuse cruelty. Ultra MAGA Kevin posting this: what's happening in the federal government is the liquidation of massive numbers of inefficient workers transitioning to a leaner and more productive workforce. Politicians on the left view the federal government as a stronghold for left-leaning voters and a covert base for concealing their schemes. No matter how many lawsuits they attempt to file, it's only a matter of time before all their efforts are dismissed. Thank you, President Trump and Elon Musk. American heroes right there. Here we have Charlie Kirk. 8 hours ago, for the first time in my lifetime, we have an administration that's dead serious about rooting out waste, fraud, and abuse. Let's listen.
$1.5 million for voter confidence in Liberia.
Like,
Biodiversity in Nepal, $19 million.
Again, those can be important. You guys are like, those could be helpful.
Okay, so how could biodiversity in Nepal for $19 million? We spent $20 million for a new Sesame Street in Iraq.
You have to both justify that these programs are bad. I think no, you can flash design. This is a program. It costs this much money. You can say that.
Do you know anything about Liberia? I mean, I happen to know a lot about it, but that's a separate issue.
It's not about what I know. It's about the people in the government making these decisions.
Yes, and they have proven themselves to be robber barons over the last 20 years. They're spending your money with reckless abandon and total indiscretion. You think the government is innocent until proven guilty. I think the government, after what we've learned, is guilty until proven innocent. They have to justify why this money is being spent in the first place.
Wait a minute. That's how the law works. Innocent until proven guilty. You have to prove that
that's not how taxpayer money works, though. It's that if we find waste, you're going to have to over-justify why this exists in the first place. This is the first time in my lifetime we have an administration going after the waste, going after the size of government to balance the budget so that you guys don't live as indentured servants and Russian serfs for the rest of your life.
Gotta love it. Here we have this. The Pentagon tells staffers to ignore the DOGE productivity message from the Washington Times. We also have this. This is rapid response reacting to Senator Jerry Connolly. Stop lying, they say. 77% of Americans support full examination of all government expenditures. 72% agree there should be government efficiency, a government agency focused on efficiency. 70% say government is filled with waste, fraud, and inefficiency. 2/3 say Congress should join the effort. That is from that Harvard Caps Harris poll that just came out. And Representative Jerry Connolly is freaking out. And of course, we have this, the Patriot Voice. This is a clip with Elon Musk. Let's listen.
Of universal basic. What to do about mass unemployment? This is going to be a massive social challenge. And I think ultimately we will have to have some kind of universal basic income. I don't think we're going to have a choice. There will be fewer and fewer jobs that a robot cannot do better. And I want to be clear that these are not things that I wish would happen. These are simply things that I think probably will happen.
Interesting. Universal basic income? No, thank you. Here we have Secretary Duffy talking about the critical safety positions in the FAA. Of course, they're trying to say that, DOGE and Trump and Duffy are going to gut the FAA and everyone's going to die.
Cut 300, there's fat everywhere in government and in DOT as well. But let's be clear, at FAA, we cut 352 people out of 46,000 people. That's 0.8% of the workforce. These were probationary workers. They were employed for less than a year at DOT. So these weren't the old school, really ingrained employees of the DOT. And not only that, we kept all the critical safety positions. And we actually hired more positions into critical safety, like air traffic controllers. We hired more inspectors for things like pipelines and for aircraft. So again, we have a safety mission. But for people to say that because we cut 352 people out of 46,000, that's a risk to safety, give me a break. I mean, that's just plain politics as opposed to saying, let's cut the fat. All right.
And it's also dismantling the fake news. Here is Benny Johnson ran into an Elon Musk protest in D.C. They were chanting that Elon Musk is a racist who wants to deport people. So he asked him, what would you tell Elon Musk if he were here right now? Oh, whoa. Let's see. Let's listen to this.
South Africa.
Go back to South.
He's not Elon Musk were here right now. What would you tell him?
Go back where you come from.
America or
where he came from.
South Africa?
South Africa?
South Africa, right?
Oh, gotta go.
Go
Back to South Africa where you lost.
Go back to South Africa.
Go back to South Africa. He's not a citizen. He came here illegally and stayed and got citizenship, I believe.
So go back to Africa.
Go back to Africa.
What would you tell him?
He's an unelected, greedy, selfish bastard, and please go away. Nobody elected him. Nobody voted for him. We don't want him. He's a racist and he's a Nazi. This is not what America is about.
You said to go away.
Yeah.
Where would you like him to go?
Go back to South Africa. His grandfather left Canada to specifically go to South Africa because he loved his racist policies of South Africa. Go back to South Africa.
Go back
as an immigrant.
Go back to Africa, sure. Here we have, Brian Stelter. Trying to invoke my greatest Mark Dice impression. Brian Stelter. It makes a lot of sense in theory to go and ask all the employees what they're doing.
What are your accomplishments? It makes a lot of sense in theory to go and ask all the employees what they're doing. Right? Elon Musk would say that's common sense. He did this to the then CEO of Twitter before forcing out the CEO of Twitter and taking over Twitter a couple years ago. And I think we should recognize to a lot of Americans, this makes perfect sense, right? Tell us what you did last week. What are your accomplishments? Lots of people are used to doing that in their jobs. Of course, it gets really complicated really quickly when you're dealing with classified information or if you're not checking your work email over the weekend. So I understand it's not the common sense that he claims it is, but I think we should understand why people, this appeals to people, why the memes appeal to a lot of people, right? It's actually nonsense, but it sounds like common sense. It makes a lot of sense in theory.
Brian Stelter. Here we have more. This is Reuters. 17 hours ago, multiple U.S. agencies have told employees not to respond immediately to a demand by President Donald Trump's advisor, Elon Musk, to list their accomplishments in the past week or be fired as a chaotic campaign to call the federal workforce pushes forward. Yeah, see, that's some more biased news, calling it chaotic. Yeah, they're trying to make you think that this plan, they send out an email, just say, list what you did last week, and then they split hairs. Oh, don't send anything classified. Of course. Why would any government employee send classified information through an email system? I mean, unless you're Hillary Clinton, I guess. But anyway. 24 hours ago, Insurrection Barbie says the Democrats have made their stance against DOGE and accountability their hill to die on because every communist knows the only way to do whatever you want is by having a government that is unaccountable to the people who elect it. And here is Elon Musk talking about reducing the size of the federal government.
We do need to delete entire agencies as opposed to leave part of them behind. Because if you leave part of them behind, it's easy. It's kind of like if leaving a weed. If you don't remove the roots of the weed, then it's easy for the weed to grow back. But if you remove the roots of the weed, it doesn't stop weeds from ever growing back, but it makes it harder. So we have to really delete entire agencies, many of them. We really have here rule of the bureaucracy as opposed to rule of the people, democracy. So in order we want to restore rule of the people. And so what that means is reducing the size of the federal government. We do need to
cutting out the weeds at the root. Here we have that this is from Resist the Mainstream. They posted this note about Senator Tina Smith criticizing Elon Musk for forcing federal workers to report their productivity weekly. This is the ultimate dick boss move. Yeah, unreal. Elon Musk and SpaceX were forced to do an analysis of the probability of the rocket hitting a shark or a whale. Yeah, this is how ridiculous that government waste and questions are.
Can you give us the shark? Some of them are, I guess, kind of funny. There's, we had to do this. SpaceX had to do the study.
A study on if they're going to hit a shark. Ultra MAGA Kevin, with the new leadership at the FBI, it's time for arrest. This shouldn't be complicated as they can trace every check issued by the federal government. Elon government paying dead people and fake workers. Mario Nafal reporting this. In some cases, we believe non-existent people or the identities of dead people are being used to collect paychecks. For years, the government has been bleeding taxpayers dry to fund fake employees and a broken bureaucracy. DOGE is exposing it all. This is not just waste, it's massive fraud at the highest levels. No wonder they're desperate to stop him. Elon is cutting through the corruption, and the swamp is terrified. Elon Musk, he was quote tweeting Elon Musk. The reason this matters is that a significant number of people who are supposed to be working for the government are doing so little work, they're not checking their email at all. Yeah, so if you don't respond to the email, guess what? you are going to get fired. Just like this, President Trump fired 2,000 USAID employees, put thousands more on leave, according to the Associated Press, who has been banned from the Oval Office. This fraud of an agency has now been almost completely gutted by DOGE. Let's go. Trump administration firing 2,000 USAID workers. And here is Caitlin Collins, who I stood next to in the East Room during the Black History Month event. She's talking about the purge underway at the Pentagon. Let's hear how she frames this.
Was serving as the chief. As we come on the air this Friday night, a major purge at the Pentagon is underway. President Trump has just fired the highest-ranking military officer in the country who still had years left on his term, along with several other top military officials. Air Force General Charles C.Q. Brown, who was serving as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, was just dismissed publicly, at least via a social media post by Trump. That's how we found out that Brown's 40-year distinguished career in the military was over, and a long-rumored move that may be shocking but is not exactly surprising based on our reporting. Just hours ago, General Brown was at the southern border assessing the military's progress and fortifying sections of the border wall. He was the successor in this role. You'll remember the person who served before him, General Mark Milley. That was who Trump handpicked, actually, to be the Joint Chiefs chairman in his first term in office. Things deteriorated from there, but Milley continued on in this role under President Biden. Now, in this post tonight, when we read it closely, the president gave no reason for why he is ousting Chairman Brown from this role, only thanking him for his service and announcing his replacement. More on who that replacement is in a moment. But behind this decision, we know Trump had been weighing replacing CQ Brown for months. Last November, then Fox News host and now the current Defense Secretary, Pete Hegseth, gave this reason for why he thought Brown should be fired.
Well, first of all, you got to fire. You got to fire the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, and you got to fire this. I mean, obviously, you're going to bring in a new Secretary of Defense, but any general that was involved, general, admiral, whatever that was involved in any of the DEI woke, it's got to go.
And that's exactly what's happening. As we've also reported, if you recall, that there were several members of the top brass who were plotting against President Trump to undermine his leadership. We also have this from Kelly Loeffler talking about the pin drop at the Small Business Association headquarters.
Well, that ends. Hi, everyone. Kelly Loeffler. It's my second day here at the SBA. I could not be more excited to be here, so I thought I'd take a walk. And what I found is that exactly what's been said is true. About 90% of our employees are working from home. Well, that ends Monday with President Trump's order to return to work. It's a tremendous waste of taxpayer dollars to be paying for people and offices that are not showing up for work. So what we're going to do Monday morning, be back in the office, just like our small businesses that we serve every single day, that work for us 7 days a week. We're going to be here working for them.
Wow, totally empty. But not anymore under President Trump's leadership. Here we have more President Trump. This was from CPAC talking about Social Security fraud.
And those who, under our administration, there will be no tolerance for Social Security fraud. We will not allow anyone to cheat our seniors, and those who will do that will be prosecuted by Pam Bondi and others.
Pam Bondi on the case. Here we have this from Libs of TikTok 9 hours ago. Federal Employee Union, representing nearly 1 million government workers, issued a letter complaining about the "what did you do last week" email, saying that Elon Musk is unelected and unhinged and that there is no legal authority to demand such information. Really? So you can't go up to a government employee if you are their boss and say, "What did you do last week?" Absolutely ridiculous. And the DOGE effect is spilling over into Florida. Check this out from Governor Ron DeSantis.
Dollars are used in information. So, we have already been doing this stuff. This will really help enhance that. So today, I'm pleased to announce that we are launching a comprehensive initiative to continue to streamline our government and to continue to eliminate unnecessary bureaucracy and to continue to ensure tax dollars are used in the most efficient way possible. We are creating a state DOGE task force that will implement a multi-pronged approach to eliminating bureaucratic bloat and modernizing our state government to best serve the people of Florida in the years ahead. This will be just similar to the federal DOGE. It's going to be a limited amount of time. It'll be a one-year term. It will sunset following the completion of the mission. Now, we've already been looking at things that we can do leading into this upcoming legislative session, and we've already earmarked over 70 state boards and commission for abolishment and to sunset them. This will restore power and accountability to Floridians. I mean, I get all these boards, and we have gotten rid of some, and then we get appointments to all this different stuff. And I'm like, well, why can't we just do that through the agency? Do we even need this? And so we've asked these questions over the last really couple years to tee up this major reform. So we will be proposing over 70 state boards and commission to sunset and to get them off the books. Again, I don't know that there's that many other states that are doing it. Actually, Iowa Governor Reynolds, I know she sunsetted a lot of agencies, and that seems to have worked very well. There may be a couple examples. So,
a couple examples. We need more examples. We need more people. We need the DOGE effect across all 50 states, not just at the federal level. And Ron DeSantis is taking the lead. But I think my favorite video of this is the moment that all of these USAID folks got shown the door. Look at them all carrying their stuff. Oh, yeah. Bye-bye. Yeah, nice knowing you. Oh, man. Yeah, that's a beautiful sight, isn't it? All that government waste, fraud, and abuse just hitting the pavement. So what we're witnessing is unprecedented. A president and his advisors actually keeping their promises to cut government fat. While Democrats scream about norms being violated, they ignore that the real norm has been unchecked waste and corruption. Trump and Musk are doing exactly what they said they would, putting American taxpayers first. So why is it taking so long for someone to demand basic accountability from our bloated federal bureaucracy? Will the American people allow the establishment to sabotage this historic effort to bring fiscal sanity to Washington? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and make sure you check out our limited edition Mag Avengers merch and Next News swag at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. You'll find it linked below.